Oh, we're here to hold down the ship, sort of. Sorry for the delay, guys. Yeah. 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 Indianapolis today. The biggest one yet, I think, is what he said. It was a big crowd.
I'm, well, he's from Chicago. So it was all good. Anyway, we're going to start this show. We got some great news for you. And remember, Jonathan, isn't there a tip link if you want to ask questions?
Well, actually, funny you say that. Today, we're not doing the tip link because I don't have access to the stream elements here. I do in the studio. But you guys are more than welcome to send in super chats, and then we'll get to the those questions at the end. Obviously, if you guys can't watch us on YouTube, check us out on wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, etc. We appreciate that support there as well. But without any further ado, and yeah, I'm sorry, I clicked the unmute button for Rob, and then apparently it double clicked, so it muted him again. But I fixed it. You're good. Anyway,
so no one heard my great opening.
Yeah, you want to do it again?
Greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the World Wide Web, the John Campea Show. I'm your host, Robert Meyer Burnett. John Campea is not here today, like Mentor from the old Shazam TV show. He is traveling the highways and byways of the land. He's going to be in Indianapolis with Olympic gold medalist Cody Miller for the next movie meetup. The movie meetup in Chicago went very, very well.
Biggest
so thanks
yet.
for everybody who.
What do they say about? And what do they say about Chicago?
Chicago, Chicago, you're right. My kind of town. That's, of course, what William Buck Rogers sang in the pilot of the Buck Rogers TV show, the one that Glenn Larson followed up Battlestar Galactica with in the late 70s. Remember, there was a theatrical movie. The pilot movie was shown theatrically with a brand new, a James Bond opening sequence. I don't even know what I'm rambling about, but you can rent Buck Rogers in the 25th Century, or you can get the entire series on Blu-ray if you so desire. Jonathan, I don't know where we're going with this. Tell us, what is the first story we're covering today?
All right, guys. Well, we have some Spider-Man Brand New Day information that just dropped. Let me bring up our lower thirds. It looks like this is fully a rumor. So
I love rumors.
I love rumors.
Yeah, I know. He loves them. Breaks long-standing franchise tradition with a different type of villain. Rob, why don't you take that away for us?
Well, they're going to put a chick in it, apparently. A new rumor suggested Spider-Man 4 will break a long-standing. This comes to us from the Direct.
Right.
A new rumor suggested Spider-Man 4 will break a long-standing franchise tradition with its unannounced villain. Spider-Man Brand New Day, directed by Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings filmmaker Destin Daniel Cretton, will swing into theaters next summer. While fans have gotten a taste of the new wall-crawling epic, there are still a couple of key questions to be answered, like who the main villain will be. Online scooper My Time to Shine, hello, added a new wrinkle to the ongoing Spider-Man 4 villain conversation, revealing they've heard it will feature a female villain. In a post on X, the well-known industry insider wrote, Spider-Man Brand New Day does have a female villain. If true, this would be the first ever Spider-Man film to feature a female big bad. Wasn't Madam Web Spider-Man big bad?
Well, that movie was a big bad.
I know. I'm just making a joke. Yeah. It's terrible. But anyway,
was big bad.
To this point, several key villain characters have been announced for the 2026 film, including Michael Mando's Scorpion and Marvin Croden Jones as Tombstone. However, all of them are men. It's raining men. In Spider-Man's big screen adventure so far, Peter Parker Spider-Man has gone up against a purely male catalog of antagonists. So this could be one way Brand New Day sets itself apart from the rest. I can't speak of the web slingers cinematic canon. There's a female villain. That's what they're looking for, between 30s and 50s of any ethnicity. The character is described as powerful and imposing, and was looking for someone with a strong and commanding screen presence. Succession's Sarah Snook was reportedly the name in mind for the role, but her involvement in the film has not been officially confirmed. By the way, if you like Sarah Snook and you like Handsome Hawk, please watch the Spielberg Brothers movie Predestination, but don't read anything about it before you watch it.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, I love her as an actress, and who could this villain be?
Right. I mean,
Well,
we know like Sadie Sink is in the film. Now there's speculation maybe she's playing a villainous role, but I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case.
I mean, Black Cat would be the obvious one, but would Sadie Sink play the Black Cat? Sathra's name came up when it was reported that the female antagonist is a shapeshifter. This led fans to think that Sink could bring the niche Spider-Man villain to life, adding a multiversal element to the movie's fairly grounded story. There are dozens of other well-known female victims. You've got Calypso, Shriek, and Screwball. We'll just have to wait and see. Now, Jonathan, I don't know. I mean, sure, it could be a lot of people. A multiversal connection makes sense.
Sure.
But I honestly don't know who. I mean, the obvious would be Black Cat. Sadie Sink seems, though, I like her. She's been great in Stranger Things.
Sure.
But I mean, she seems a little slight to be a big bad.
I kind of agree.
Is she Baba Boom enough to be Black Cat? I don't know.
I feel like she's going to be someone more familiar with Peter Parker,
Gwen Stacy,
something
whatever.
like that. We never know what these roles are going to be for these people, but someone did bring up a good point. It's like we already know Tombstone's in this thing. I believe Scorpion is said to be in this thing as well. And then there's rumors of Mr. Negative, and now this big bad is a female antagonist. Okay, this could be really crowded, but at the same time, I really have a feeling a lot of these are going to be part of like a montage of people he's kind of cleaning the streets up with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not necessarily a montage, but short sequences at least. Just kind of showing that he's busy, and he's got some meta humans to deal with now, not just Michael Keaton in a flying suit. So I don't get too worried about all of these different villains, but I don't know. What do you think? Do you think this is just a rumor? Do you think this is the big bad of the story, or do you think this is just going to be like a bit part? Where are we going with this?
No, you know what I think? I always thought that they should have. I mean, they've got the animated series, but if this is a return to a more grounded, I mean, this whole thing is Peter Parker. The underlying story is the world does not know who Peter Parker is.
Yeah.
He's been erased from existence because of the events of Brand New Day. So it makes sense to me that there would be a succession of villains, and it would show how Peter Parker and Spider-Man would reestablish themselves in this new reality before everything goes to hell in Doomsday and Secret Wars, or the mysterious third movie that I posited might happen, but that's just a rumor. So I would imagine that this villain is not going to be the overriding villain. I don't think it's going to be like a Sinister Six thing. I think it's going to be more of a succession of things happening. Just because the title, Brand New Day, it's a brand new day in Peter Parker's life.
Right.
It's basically the first day of the rest of his life because nobody knows he exists. And people know Spider-Man exists, but it's going to be really interesting. I'm actually really excited about this movie, if for no other reason than what is it about? Like, it really offers an interesting, I find it from an intellectual standpoint, I'm always looking at some hook that gets me into a story. How does somebody who's been erased from existence, any human being, like what would that's like a nightmarish scenario. Like it sounds to me like a bad dream, very Kafka-esque. If you no longer exist, how do you reestablish existence for yourself in the world? I mean, even if it wasn't a Spider-Man story, I'm like, I would watch that movie. It sounds like it's very Prisoner-esque, like Patrick McGowan. How do you how when your identity has been erased?
Yeah.
How do you get it back?
Yeah, and I mean, originally it was like, we don't want people to know Peter Parker is Spider-Man, but then at the end he's like, I don't even want them to know who I am. Period. Right? That was kind of the end of No Way Home, right? So what does he do? I mean, like, is everything cash basis for him? Does he forge? Does he have to have like an identity forged? I mean, how is he? We see him in an apartment. How did he get credit for that apartment? It's New York.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's a smart guy. It's interesting to think that Peter Parker would have to resort to underhanded, I dare say, criminal means to reestablish his legitimate identity.
Yeah.
And that to me is great fodder for storytelling. And it makes this particular movie, this premise alone makes it interesting for me. It doesn't have to be multiversal. You don't have to have some apocalyptic big bad. I mean, this is really fascinating. I can't wait to see this movie, if only to see how they solve this problem.
Well, and I hope they don't sidestep this problem. I hope it's not just solved in the first 15 minutes of the movie, where it's like, just exposition. And then I really do want it to have to deal with I mean, No Way Home, he dealt with so many deep things, like losing his aunt and having to say goodbye to his friends and his girlfriend. And like you said, like, he doesn't exist to anybody, not even
and then saying goodbye to himself. Not
even the Avengers, his workmates, his friends from work, as what's his name said in Ragnarok. These are my friends from work. Was that Thor who said that, or was that okay? It was
Thor said, and that line was given to him by a kid visiting the set.
Yeah, which is a great line. So we'll see. I mean, I guess we'll see how this all shapes up. I do think that's kind of interesting, though. Like, I never really thought about it. I think they were edging towards a Black Cat at some point, probably even with Raimi's Spider-Man 4, but that just never happened. But we'll see. But anyway, guys, what do you guys think about this? Are you excited to see jump into this new foray of a female antagonist? I really don't think it's going to be the big bad, but maybe one of many, because we know, again, Tombstone and Scorpion are involved. So let us know what you guys think in the comments. We're going to stick with some Marvel news here still, but this time we're going to move into Disney Plus and some VisionQuest news. Rob, want to take us into this?
Yeah, I mean, as many people know, I sort of became friends with showrunner Terry Matalas because of Picard season 3. I was able to see it early, and he and we used to go back and forth sort of antagonistically on Twitter. And then when he found out that I'd seen it, he was like, "Did you really see it?" And we became friends. And I was very enamored of Picard season 3. Also, Terry Matalas ran the 12 Monkeys TV series that was an extension of Terry Gilliam's film. And if you haven't seen the 4 seasons of the 12 Monkeys TV series, I think it's really one of the finest science fiction shows of the last decade that a lot of people might have missed out on. So Terry Matalas, because also Kevin Feige was a fan of what he did with Picard season 3, tapped him to be the showrunner of the new VisionQuest series, which is the follow-up to, of course, WandaVision. What I love about it is Terry showed he comes all the way. He started his television career working as an intern back on Deep Space Nine, so he's very familiar with science fiction, and especially the way they handled Data in Picard season 3. I can't wait to see what Terry, and he brought back his crack writing staff that he's worked with both on 12 Monkeys and on Picard season 3. So they know how to deal and wrestle with some of the big sci-fi questions. So I'm really looking forward to this show.
Yeah, as am I. He had a bit of a parallel story to Ron Moore in a sense,
Yes, he really did. He really did. And he's a really thoughtful guy, and he's put together, most importantly, a terrific writing staff for this show. And what they've confirmed, again, this comes to us from the direct.
Right.
Terry Matalas did reveal. Now they showed apparently a trailer for this show at New York Comic Con, but it's not online, probably because effects weren't done. And by the way, Terry has not told me anything about this show. He knows I have a big mouth, and I'm unable to keep it shut. So he's not shared anything with me about this show. Before he went, I told him, Ultron's one of my favorite Marvel villains. I still don't understand why we don't have that panel of Thor saying, "Ultron, we would have words with thee," which was in Avengers issue 22. Anyway, one of Marvel's biggest creatives confirmed a pair of main characters taking center stage in VisionQuest, which might not include Wanda Maximoff. WandaVision took the world by storm in 2021, and Terry Matalas confirmed that Vision and Ultron are the 2 biggest characters in the upcoming Disney Plus series, which I love.
Yeah.
I love Ultron. I thought James Spader, I've loved James Spader all the way back to the 80s when he played Dutra in Sean Cunningham's The New Kids, when he was Rip, the drug dealer in Lesson Zero. He was Jack in Jack's Back. He was also in, of course, Pretty in Pink. But nothing was better than his role in Tough Turf. Just saying. Fritz Kirsch, who directed Children of the Corn, made Tough Turf, which is a movie no one's seen, but you should see it. Robert Downey Jr. is in it. That was really the first time Robert Downey Jr. and James Spader, well, they were friends in that movie.
Sure.
Anyway, I'm rambling, but that's what they said. So that's what Phase Heroes Brandon Davis was told after New York Comic Con 2025. Terry Matalas teased that fans will see the robot version of Ultron in the series, while also pointing out stars Paul Bettany and James Spader. And according to him, they are the core dynamic of the show. I love this because that conversation at the end of Avengers Age of Ultron, where the last Ultron satellite robot, has that great conversation with Vision. It's so great. And that Vision delivers that great line, well, I was born yesterday.
Yeah.
It's so great. And look, Ultron's dope. You can destroy Ultron. He will always come back. He's like the Terminator. He is relentless. I can't wait to see this. And of course, it's not dated. It is undated. They've dated Wonder Man, but this is not dated. And, since Terry took over here at the old Robservatory, I have had my White Vision Hot Toys figure hanging out right next to me. I need to have them squaring off or something and put Ultron between them. I'll make my little Ultron display to be a VisionQuest fanboy. But I'm really excited about this. I can't wait to see this. I think we're going to get something that's heady. It's going to be very sci-fi related. It's going to get into that whole Blade Runner area that are artificial people or artificial intelligences. Can they be human? Have they seen things you people wouldn't believe? I don't know. Maybe Vision did see attack ships off the shoulder of Orion. I have no idea. But we're going to find out. What do you think?
Well, what I'm kind of looking forward to is, and obviously you want some great action sequences, and James Spader is going to deliver. And actually, I think all the actors are, because it was reported before. Two things. One, it was reported before that, we were going to see Jarvis in human form, Edith. We were going to see Ultron in human form, so James Spader. But now this confirms in robot form as well, too. So I just kind of wonder, where does this all take place? Is this in like a headspace? Because it is called VisionQuest. He's on a VisionQuest. So I kind of hope, and this is supposed to be a trilogy between WandaVision, Agatha, and this. It's a trilogy. That's how it's being sold. So I do really want some kind of like a fever dream, a robotic AI fever dream. Well, it doesn't have to be throughout the whole thing, but and then is Spader really like, is Ultron just kind of like the devil on his shoulder? Is he actually a real threat? Does he materialize? Like what is going on? And I'm also interested because nothing has mentioned Wanda, and kind of reconfirms to me she really is gone. But he's going to have to deal with the fact that he has all these memories of the original Ultron, the old consciousness, and being in love with Wanda. And how does this affect him?
You mean the old Vision? The
old Vision. Yeah. It's the same body, but different consciousness. So like he's going to be going through a lot, I feel. And much like Spider-Man Brand New Day, I just feel like this has some room for some complexity that you and I are both looking forward to, some sci-fi elements, and it's Terry Matalas, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think Terry mentioned to me that this was kind of a standalone, like it's not necessarily tied to,
it's a spiritual trilogy. Spiritual trilogy.
Yeah, it's not necessarily directly going to lead into I don't think. I mean, he wouldn't tell me anyway if it was, but leading into anything like Brand New Day or Doomsday. But to me, the Vision is a core member of the Avengers, at least always was in the comics. And you've got that great West Coast Avengers cover where you see the White Vision.
I have it.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I'm looking forward to this because, as you always know, I always talk about authorship. The thing that makes me most interested in this is not only that Terry's doing it, but it's the writing staff that he brought with him to write this show. I think what we're getting is going to be incredibly spectacular as far as a science fiction superhero show goes. And that's why I'm really looking forward to it. And I can't wait. I really can't wait to see this.
Let's just hope it's not 6 20-minute episodes,
Yeah, I hope it's not 6 20-minute episodes. 6 20-minute episodes.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, look, let us know what you guys think. Are you excited for WandaVision? I know it's always mixed kind of reviews with Disney Plus outings, but I think in the spiritual trilogy, when you think of WandaVision, Agatha, you're on a good track record. So are you excited for Vision Quest? I know that Rob and I both are. I mean, any chance to see more James Spader, I'm all in. So let us know what you guys think down in the comments. We'll move on now, sticking under the Disney umbrella, but moving over to Star Wars. So Rob, we've got some confirmation for Mandalorian Grogu, little Jeremy Allen White action. What's going on?
StarWarsNewsNet.com is reporting this. Is this like the worst kept secret in history or whatever?
Confirmed.
That Jeremy Allen White confirms he's playing Rhoda the Hutt, or at least he's being motion captured and performing Rhoda the Hutt. Jeremy Allen White has officially confirmed earlier that he is portraying Rhoda the Hutt, the son of the infamous Tatooine crime lord Jabba the Hutt. That means that Jabba the Hutt had to get busy with someone. And I don't know if I ever want to even picture that in my mind at all. I guess every species has to procreate, but I don't want to know. He doesn't see it. I don't think it was very satisfying for his partner. Anyway, in the upcoming film Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu, while talking to Good Morning America during the press tour for Bruce Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, White officially revealed that he would be lending his voice to the character Rhoda the Hutt, glimpsed in the movie's teaser. In addition, he noted that Pedro Pascal, who plays the titular Mandalorian, was doing ADR for the movie and that he anticipated he would begin ADR work on the film as well. Here's what White said, quote, "It was exciting, it's funny. I met John Favreau, who directed the film, the series prior, and I've been such a huge fan of John's for a long time. And so we talked about movies and I talked about Swingers. And he said, would you like to come in maybe and talk about doing a voiceover for Star Wars? I love Star Wars, so I'd be happy to. And then in that moment, almost, I discovered the weight of the character I was voicing. It's been a fun process. I came in to do the voice. They hadn't filmed the movie yet. They made the movie. I came in and I did more. I'll probably have to do a little bit more. I spoke to Pedro the other day, and I think he was doing some more work and seeing more of the film. I'm very excited to take my kids to see that one. It's going to be really fun. You've got 3 kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you told them that you were playing a Hutt, would they be excited? I think they would be.
I think they would be, but they're not like the biggest Star Wars. Like, if I told them I was in something like DC or Marvel, they'd probably be more excited than Star Wars.
Have you ever made your wife dress up as Slave Leia?
No.
You should.
I'm the slave in the house.
Oh,
I dress like Slave Leia, but but
that's some swapping around,
But I gotta admit, when he said he had talked to John Favreau about Swingers, I was more excited about that and wanted to hear more about what they talked about with Swingers than honestly than Mandalorian Grogu. I mean, I just don't feel a lot of buzz out there, not just with the industry, but with people. Like, I really don't know how well this film is going to be. And it's cool that Jeremy Allen White got this job. Are we really even going to recognize his voice? Because it's going to have to be so modulated and deep and everything. You know what I mean? So
I don't know. I mean, I'd rather see a Hutt sing a Springsteen tune myself,
Yeah. Well, yeah, you could have the Max, what is it, Max Rebo band doing that?
Yeah, the Max Rebo band or Phil Grandin and the Modal Notes.
Exactly. But I mean, look, we got some more tidbits on this story. Like you said, it's the worst kept secret in town. We knew he was in it. We knew he was playing a little stinky. So there you go. I mean, I don't really have anything else to say about that. It's kind of a smaller story, but at least we have confirmation. This thing is actually in the works. Pedro's showing up. Now,
it's happening.
Now, does Pedro actually have to be on set, do you think? Do you think we're going to see his face?
If I were him, I'd be like, haven't I done enough for you people? I don't know. I don't know if we'll see his face. I would imagine you can't make a movie.
And he's pure ADR.
I understand the idea. The idea of never taking your helmet off, the Mandalorian code. I mean, just the hygiene issues alone. Let's wash your hair. Let's brush your teeth. How do you procreate? How do you make more Mandalorians? I mean, at some point, it's kind of a weird thing. I mean, that's one of those things that made the Mandalorian show a little less believable for me. Like, I understand you can't go out in public without your Mandalorian armor, but what about, there's got to be times when you can take everything off.
Yeah.
Polish your armor, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
or have your armor polished.
I mean, he was pretty strict, man. He wasn't even going to show his face to that droid at first. Remember that? And they're like, "Oh, I'm not a person." It's like, "Well, okay, I feel like I'm sinning here, but here's my face." But it sounds like I'm boohooing Mandalorian, especially season 1 and 2. Like, I really enjoyed. I just don't know. I'm got a lot of trepidation about this film. I'm going to see it, but we'll see, man. Are you guys excited?
I don't like the fact that we all want to reluctantly go to a Star Wars movie. I mean, some people really are excited about it. So
I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of hype around it, but it's just we've talked about this plenty on the show. It's a movie based on a TV series, and not everybody has Disney Plus. So, I think a lot of people like Baby Grogu. It doesn't mean they've seen the Mandalorian series. They saw the marketing. They've seen clips online and whatever. But I don't know. We'll see. Well, we'll know more when we see the trailer. Maybe we'll love it. Maybe it ties into a big story, but I don't know.
Hey, I want to love things. That's my go-to position.
Me too.
I want to be good.
All right, guys. We're going to move on, but let us know what you guys think about Jeremy Allen White, confirmed not only as Springsteen, but as Rotta the Hutt. Are you excited about this movie? Are you not? Are you just whatever? Let us know. So moving on. Actually, no, not moving on to this. We, Rob, are going to take a few questions. I put a post out for some versus questions. You guys simply tell us, do you take this over this, whatever the subject may be? We answer your questions. I don't even
know what these questions are. Normally, I know what they're coming.
No, they're coming to Rob live, and a lot of participation. We had like 100, and I could only pick like 6 or 7 because we only have so much time, guys. But we're going to move on to some verses here. So first up, we hear from the Hutch. So Rob, better directing. I think this one's a tough one. Better directing job. Ryan Coogler on Sinners versus Paul Thomas Anderson on One Battle After Another. What say thee?
Well, I got to say, I haven't seen One Battle After Another yet.
Really?
Dude, I haven't seen. I had a bit.
You have been really dealing with a lot, so I don't blame
I've been dealing with a lot. I haven't seen One Battle After Another, so I can't. I mean, I think that's really difficult to. I will say this, having only seen one of the films, I think that Ryan Coogler absolutely smashed it in terms of making the movie that he wanted to make. He did a lot of interesting things. He had his lead actor play twins, frequently acting against himself or with himself. The milieu that he was able to create, that sort of Mississippi Delta of the time, how he was able to evoke a period, how he was able to create sort of indelible characters, what he did with the music. And I think that it's obviously a very different movie than One Battle After Another, but at least for Ryan Coogler, I would say that he absolutely just succeeded in grand fashion making the movie that he set out to make. I would say the same thing is probably true of Paul Thomas Anderson, but I can't speak to. I mean, he's an incredible filmmaker, and the diversity of the subjects that he's covered. I mean, going from Hard Eight and Boogie Nights to The Phantom Thread. I never thought I would be so riveted by a movie about a dressmaker, but that's the way I felt about Phantom Thread. And he's one of our best filmmakers. I mean, Punch Drunk Love. I love that. My
favorite non-Adam Sandler movie starring Adam Sandler.
Yeah, so I can't really speak to One Battle After Another yet. I'm hoping to see that shortly, maybe tonight. But yeah, it's a good question. I just can't answer it. What do you? I mean, you would have to answer the flip side of that.
Yeah, I echo a lot of what you said about Sinners and everything. I will say, because Coogler, what he did was kind of a masterstroke. It really was. From editing to music to character development. And what Paul Thomas Anderson also did in terms of dealing with situations that were happening at the same time in different places, different times, dealing with characters who have aged, and so they're different from the person they left behind. There's so much nuance there. But which movie? I'm just going to base it on what stuck with me after. So I'm going to go with Ryan Coogler.
Wow.
But they're both masters. It's like Beethoven or Mozart. I mean, literally, I mean, come on. You know what I mean?
Paul Thomas Anderson is clearly one of our great filmmakers. I mean, he's one of the new masters. I mean, if you talk about the filmmakers that are working today, whether it's Martin Scorsese, whether it's Steven Spielberg, whether it's Ridley Scott, I mean, take your pick of all of our master filmmakers who have a half century of work behind them. I mean, Paul Thomas Anderson is one of our new grandmasters. So all of his films are worth seeing. You don't want to ever miss something that he's made.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to the next one. We hear from Guillermo, who says The Boys versus Peacemaker. How do you feel about that?
You know, I'm gonna go with The Boys. They're different kinds of shows with different tastes, but I think I like the scope of The Boys more. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think it has the Peacemaker is a lot more personal, whereas The Boys has a much more sprawling a cast, and you see the shows from multiple points of view. And I just like the universe of The Boys more. I mean, it's the Peacemaker is the entire DC universe, but it's a very concentrated look at those characters. I just find there's just more to The Boys. Mm-hmm. And I find it, I mean, I really like Peacemaker. It's a hoot, but it's indie, it's analog. You know, it's like Peacemaker would be the favorite show of the characters in the movie High Fidelity.
Oh yeah.
You know, like Jack Black and in that record store.
Yeah,
like
I love High Fidelity.
Yeah, I do too. And they're going to be the ones going, here's the new beta. I'm going to sell 3 copies of the new Beta Band album. You know, that it's there. Whereas
I just played that song, by the way, yesterday.
Did you really?
Yeah.
And these are weird references. You know, you leave us to our own devices, and why am I talking about High Fidelity and the Beta Band? But the Beta Band is great. I bought that album because of that movie. But and it's a great record. But I do like The Boys more.
Yeah.
It's just
the scope it's hard to compare the scope. I mean, one is easier to watch. For sure. I think Peacemaker is much easier, more palatable, and I just enjoy it. I don't feel awful sometimes at the end of it. Like, I still feel good even if something sad happens, because you know it's going to be hopeful. So
Boys is.
But I know what you mean. There's just a depth to The Boys. It's just different.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on to our third versus, Mason says, oh, you'll like this one. Avatar: Fire and Ash versus Avengers: Doomsday box office. Which one will make more?
Ooh, this is a tough one.
Yep.
Look, you know me. I'm a big. I'm in the bag with Jimmy C. So I am, and I'm an unabashed Avatar lover. Come at me, bro. I can't wait for the fire munching Na'vi. I can't wait for them to say, "Your God has no dominion here." I can't wait. I'm very excited. Here's the thing. We have there's 4 Avengers movies that have grossed more than $500 million. Mm-hmm. The last one was one of the highest grossing movies of all time, but the Avatar movies are also some of the highest grossing movies of all time. I think Doomsday is a stretch. It's a film built on a gimmick, and I don't know how it's going to work. Gosh, you know what? I'm going back and forth right now, just trying to decide which. I'm gonna go with Avatar: Fire and Ash making more money than Avengers: Doomsday, but that's only because if you listen to Magic Mike, if you listen to the Roof Man, he said we are not ready. Okay, Channing Tatum said we're not ready. Maybe he's just saying that because he gets to play Gambit again. I don't know.
Yeah,
but to me, it's still. Whereas Fire and Ash, you've got a pretty great foundation there, but I'm going to go with that. I know people are probably going to come after me because it's not the sexy thing. It's not sexy to like Avatar. If I had a dating profile, I would not put on that dating profile how much I love Avatar. It would be uncool. At least I would think so. I would go with Avengers: Doomsday on my dating profile, but I'm going to say to our audience, I'm going to tell them the truth. I'm going to go with Avatar.
I concur. I think Fire and Ash is going to make more. I think we're in a world where Endgame made 2.8. I think it's very likely that Doomsday makes like under 2. I think it's very possible it's making under 2.
I mean, it should. The real problem with Doomsday is that it does not have your core Avengers team that everybody loves. You know, and
you're picking up the pieces of a cinematic universe that people have stepped aside from.
Yeah,
haven't abandoned like the DCEU, but they're watching with.
Right, you need to gain a lot of. Whereas Avatar is coming out with 2 wins, And if you think about it, if you just look at Avengers movies, that's great. But the last Avengers movie came out 6 years ago, and the next Avengers movie comes out 7 years ago. So it'll be 7 years ago. And it's like, what have you done for me lately? There is no core Avengers team to be in love with, to wait like, oh my God, I can't wait to see what happens.
Right.
You have to not only give us a great Avengers movie, you have to reestablish the Avengers as a team, which is weird. I mean, we know from Thunderbolts that Sam Wilson is suing the new Avengers.
I know.
So, I mean, you're going to have to spend, you have to define Doctor Doom, explain the situation. You've got the X-Men, what's going on there. You know, there's so much that they have to do. There's so much lifting that the movie has to do before you even get to whether it's good or bad.
You know, even Age of Ultron made 1.4. And
yeah. And that movie just gets better every time I watch it.
And I think honestly we're close to that. I think it's like 1.5, 1.6. There's a lot of apathy. I'm just thinking about the general apathy, and we're even in a different time from, Endgame was post-COVID and everything. So, I mean, pre-COVID, I should say.
Pre-COVID.
So, yeah, I'm thinking Fire and Ash, because I'm also thinking about, you got to compare it to worldwide take, and Avatar takes from the world. Let me tell you,
That's right.
Box office. So I think on a worldwide basis, if you were going to ask me domestic, I think Doomsday knocks Avatar, Fire and Ash out of the park. I think Avengers takes it. But if you're talking worldwide box office total, it's Fire and Ash. So
yeah.
All right.
I agree.
Moving on. Jonathan, not me, but another one, says bigger letdown, Joker Folie à Deux, or Rise of Skywalker. Oh, come on.
Oh, this is easy for me.
Easy for me too.
I liked Joker Folie à Deux for what it was. I mean, it was such a weird swing, big, gigantic, big swing. Do I think it's a great movie? Perhaps not, but I was fascinated watching it. Rise of Skywalker, I hated from the first line of the opening crawl. Somehow Palpatine has returned. The dead speak.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like that film, the Rise of Skywalker, I could sit around drunk with five of my nerd buddies, and we could have written a better script for Rise of Skywalker in an hour in a drunken stupor in our favorite bar in the worst part of town. I can't believe that movie got made. I can't believe anybody greenlit, especially I reported early on about the Duel of the Fates script.
Yeah.
They could have just gone with that script. It would have been way better than the swill that they served up.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you. I think because of what it had on its shoulders and then let us down, it's much bigger than Folie à Deux. Okay, so Joker. This wasn't as good as the first Joker, an Elseworlds film. That was supposed to be a standalone film.
Right.
Like, okay, it missed the mark. This is an entire massive franchise, Star Wars. And that movie had no room to breathe. How Lando got every fighter pilot in the galaxy to appear on whatever the hell that planet was.
Exegol.
That
was the only cool thing. The name of that planet was the only cool thing. And that probably came from the Legends.
There were cool elements. I love seeing the old Star Destroyers. I love seeing, like, there's some nostalgia things, but it was just like, dude, even the final trailer, I think it was like trailer number 3. I'm like, I see what Disney's doing. They're leaning on the nostalgia and I'm saying goodbye to my friends one last time from C-3PO. And I'm like, dude, you guys are just baiting.
Chewbacca blew up in that ship. Oh, wait, no. I mean, there was... Look, I will grant you the scene where Rey jumps over the TIE fighter was cool.
Yeah.
But that's not a movie.
I like that they saw the crashed Death Star, because that's the kind of things the imagery we saw like in like Dark Empire or whatever, like the comics and stuff like that. Like you always love that as like a teenager or whatever, going to those Dark Horse comics and being like, oh, that's so cool. You know?
Yeah, because the people writing the Dark Horse comics knew Star Wars more than the people writing. I'm sorry, JJ, but it's just like they spent more time writing comics. I mean, when you have the wreckage of something in the ocean and you have like a protractor from your 4th grade,
and you just happen to find it,
you know, and you're like, oh, look, I mean, you're talking about an ocean where things would constantly be shifting, and somebody made this thing 30 years ago. And look, that's how we're going to get to that.
How did they know they were standing in the right spot?
Yeah,
at the
I mean
right angle.
yeah, you know, you go one way or another, it's like it doesn't work.
Like standing from where exactly? You know, whatever. We can go on and on.
Do they not have any like computers that could figure out first of all, how is the wreckage of the Death Star that intact? You know, it's coming through the atmosphere of a planet.
Yeah, you know, it used the Force on the way down.
Apparently.
Moving
the dead
on.
Emperor.
Yeah, the dead Emperor. His farts brought it down easily. Frankie, Robin. Okay, come on now. These are kind of hard too. Frankie, Robin Williams' park bench monologue in Good Will Hunting versus Denzel King Kong.
King Kong ain't got shit on
monologue in Training Day. Good luck picking the winner. I think I have the winner for me. What say you?
Well, the thing is, you're talking about two very different performances that are doing two very different things.
Yeah,
you know, the situations are totally different. So you're like, if you asked me to compare Al Pacino's speech at the end of And Justice for All, when he's screaming at the courtroom, "You're out of order. The whole court is out of order," I could be like, okay, you have two actors working at heightened emotional states, both dealing with different sides of law enforcement. I would say, okay, we can make, but you're looking at one. These are actors that are digging into very different emotional states. They're both, I would say, they're both great. I mean, picking one or the other, I don't think is fair because they're not equal. You're not on it's like one's football and one's baseball.
Yeah, but baseball wins, so you got to pick one. Well, just like, okay, just look at it in terms of, it's not in terms of performance. They're both stellar performances. What maybe touched you? Like what did you resonate with more in the time? And well, I don't, that sounds like I'm leading, but not really, because this person was at the end of his life and he was desperate too. So that's very like, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. They're so different. I enjoy, look, I'll be honest. I thought watching Denzel Washington in that sequence is more fun.
Yes.
Just from a visceral, I mean, that's the candy. That's like being at an amusement park watching him. I am King Kong. You know, he knows he's going to get gunned down. He knows. Whereas the Robin Williams stuff is incredibly emotional. It's incredibly poignant, and he's talking about, you know, I would assume it's the speech about his wife, you know, meeting his wife for the first time. And it's such a wonderful.
Oh, well, it was the one where he's like, you know, he had just pissed him off in the last meeting. And then he got back. He's like, I realized, you know, you could tell me all about the Sistine Chapel, but you can't tell me what it smells like inside.
Right. Yeah. It's great. And all that's great. But I mean, look, I love Denzel Washington. Those Lipizzaner stallions. I mean, I love Denzel Washington.
All right.
But I love they're both great. But I'm gonna since we have to, I'll pick Denzel. But
all right, I'm gonna go Robin Williams. Just because the depth of that speech, I think, just hit me harder. So
yeah.
Sorry guys, I'm going Robin Williams.
Oh, you motherfuckers.
No one will fault you for it.
Next up, we got Logan Stone, Jim Carrey in The Truman Show versus Jim Carrey in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Oh, that's a good one, but I'm going Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
I am too. Not to mention, Michel Gondry directed that. Which, man, if you guys don't know much about Michel Gondry, and like check out his Daft Punk videos, like he did Around the World back in the day. He worked with the White Stripes. He did a lot of stuff like in the aughts, late 90s, early aughts, really great stuff. And his, what was it, Science of Sleep? That was a trippy movie, but yeah, I'm going Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless.
Yeah, it's so good.
Sorry, Truman.
Great science fiction film.
Sorry, Truman Burbank. Let me see. Let's see. We did that. Okay, I think there's one more. Okay, I just thought this was fun because we don't talk about Paradise that much. William Crook, this is our last versus Alien Earth versus Paradise. Again, very different.
I'm going Paradise.
Are you?
I loved Paradise. I absolutely loved it. I had no idea what was going on. I love Paradise. Alien Earth, I thought, was a mixed bag. I enjoyed watching it, but it was all over the place for me. What I really liked about Paradise was how focused it was. It really knew what story it was telling. I felt like Alien, Alien Earth was too. There were too many things in Alien Earth that were stupid that I didn't like. Like, for instance, if you bring these alien creatures down, you don't have a level 5 biohazard lab that's manned 24/7.
Well,
like,
the deal
by the
was
greatest
no
scientists in the
humans,
world.
only synthetics.
Yeah, and why not why not man the whole thing with your best synths so there's no meat for the aliens to feed off of? They even give that speech.
But there was a lot. I mean, I know you okay. I'm going to defend Alien Earth a little bit because I understand that bothered you, but there was so much good in that show.
There was. I mean, there was a lot of interesting things, but even like Boy Cavalier,
I didn't like him.
He was too like. If
what's
you're
funny?
that smart, you need to be Machiavellian. You can't be
thing.
like that guy. I mean, I understand the whole allusions to
he's reckless.
Peter Pan. Yeah, and I'm like, you're not smart. You need to be a diabolical genius. I felt Kirsch was more interesting.
He sits there and it's like you could write lines like, well, I'm trying to create this most intelligent like synthetic being so that I can just have a conversation with someone because everyone is so dull and witless. And I'm like, I wouldn't want to have a conversation with you at all. You seem like a moron. You're a trillionaire and you're reckless and you have a lot of assets and you're putting them to use and you think you're so smart. Like there was nothing about him that I felt, oh my gosh, this guy is like on a different plane of existence here. I did like the actual series though. And overall, yeah,
I did enjoy watching it, but there was too much dumb in it. And it could have been really, really, really compelling and thoughtful.
I want to know where we are going with Paradise. When the heck is season 2 coming out?
I know, man.
That was a series that was a slow burn for me at first. And I was like, I don't see what's so great about this. Like, I get it. The opening was really, well, was that even the opening with the disaster? Or was that later? It was a couple episodes in.
No, the disaster was like in episode 7.
Yeah. And I'm just like, dude, this is like, okay. Then when they show the hook, like it's underground or whatever. And it's like, okay, but that seems kind of gimmicky. And I've already seen Fallout. I still wasn't into it.
Yeah, but Paradise didn't predate the video game, but
No. I know. But I'm just saying, like, in terms of like, I already know this story, right? But it really did start to like roll like a freight train. It picked up steam, right? Picked up speed. And by the end of it, I'm like, oh, can't wait for season 2 of Paradise. So, man, as much as I thought when I read that at first this morning, I was going Alien Earth, I think I actually am going Paradise. So there you go. All right, guys. So that's Versus. Thank you for your questions. I'm sorry we couldn't get them all. I mean, like I said, you guys sent in like 100 verses, and we could only like have time for like 7, or else we'd be talking for days. But anyway, we're gonna take a quick break from our sponsors before we move on. We have some news about Walter Hamada re-upping at Paramount and his latest movie. What is it? Primate. Boy, I don't know what that one. We'll talk about that. And then we're going to talk about some Masters of the Universe. Apparently, it's Mattel's biggest movie to date, even just in scale of like the movie sets and everything. And its scale and scope, even compared to Barbie, which I know you might think Barbie wasn't that big of a production, but that was a massive set and a massive undertaking. So we're going to talk about all that and more. But first, we're going to get to our sponsors, Mando and Zapier.
We want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Mando. All right, guys, listen, fall's here, football season, yard work, those long work days, and yeah, that means sweat. But here's the thing, staying fresh doesn't have to be a battle. You guys know I've been using Mando, that's Mando, and this stuff actually works. Now, I've been telling you guys about Mando for a while now, and when I first started using it, I wasn't sure what to expect, but Mando totally surprised me. It's not just a nice scent, it stops odor before it starts. And the sweat control, on point. I can go through a full show day, go hit the gym, and I'll still be dry. And I love that it pulls double duty with one stick that handles both odor and sweat no reapplying, no nonsense. And it's long-lasting, lasting up to 72 hours. So here's the deal. Mando's got a starter pack that's perfect if you're new. You get their solid stick, the cream tube, 2 free extras like mini body wash or deodorant wipes, and free shipping. And right now, you can get 20% off site-wide when you use my code Campea at shopmando.com. Again, that's shopmando, shopmando.com, code Campea for 20% off plus free shipping. So do yourself a favor and stay fresh this fall. Control body odor anywhere with Mando. It's not magic, it's science. Guys, we want to take a second to thank the sponsor of today's video, Zapier. You know, one of the biggest game changers of the past year has been AI. But let's be real, just talking about AI doesn't actually make your day any more productive. What does make it more productive is finding tools to put AI to work for you. And that's where Zapier comes in. Zapier is the easiest way to take AI and plug it directly into the apps and processes that you're already using every day. No IT bottlenecks, no complexity, just results. For me, it's been about saving time on repetitive stuff so I can focus on the work that matters and I actually enjoy. And it's not just me. Over 3.4 million companies are already using Zapier to streamline everything from sales and marketing to IT and HR. With their AI orchestration platform, you can connect top AI models like ChatGPT or Claude right into the apps you already use. So whether it's automatically enriching leads, coaching your sales team, or even resolving IT tickets, Zapier makes it simple. Guys, join the 3.4 million companies already automating with Zapier and transform how you work with Zapier and AI. Get started for free by visiting zapier.com/Campea. That's zapier.com/Campea.
All right, and thank you to our sponsors, Mando and Zapier. So we're going to move on now to our next topic, which brings us over to Paramount and Walter Hamada. Rob, why don't you take us into that?
Well, I have to say, I've never met Walter Hamada, but I'm a big fan of his. I've heard nothing but good things about him. And of course, he left Warner Brothers and went over and set up his own shingle at Paramount. Now, one of the first things you might notice is that his company is called 18 Hertz.
Right.
Now, first of all, that alone is clever. 18 Hertz is the sound that human beings can barely hear. It's called the ghost frequency. And it's right underneath our hearing level. So I just think 18 Hertz is a cool name for a company.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Walter Hamada, he had produced the It movies over at Warner Brothers. He also was a producer of Matt Reeves' The Batman.
Both fantastic films.
At Warner Brothers. Fantastic films. And then he left Warner Brothers. I believe he was a production executive there first and then became a producer. Now, he went over to Paramount specifically to run their genre, their horror division, which I think every studio should have its own horror division. Now, we saw a trailer drop today for his film that he produced, Primate, which I want to get to in a second.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that. But I also want to talk about his upcoming slate of movies. Now, he has 3 films that this article talks about.
I have them on screen here from the article.
Andre Overdahl, an untitled horror film from director Andre Overdahl. I can't pronounce his name correctly. This director made a movie called The Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Oh yeah,
and to me, it's one of the most Halloween-y horror films ever made. It's so good. It is truly scary, and most of the whole thing is pretty much set, other than the beginning, in one location. It's a great. I will go on record as saying it's one of my favorite horror films of the last 10 years. I think it's incredibly effective. It does what great low budget horror does. And it's, if you haven't seen it, don't read anything about it. Take your Uncle Bob's advice and just go watch The Autopsy of Jane Doe. I think it's terrific. Now, another movie he has, and again, I can't pronounce the director's name, Kay Cassis.
Maybe Kaye, I'm not sure.
Is it Kaye Cassis? I don't know.
You may be right.
Familiar. Now, why does that excite me? Well, anyone who's seen the coffee table, by the way.
Oh, look at that.
This is the, of course, Second Sight boxed edition. Please give Barbarian.
There you go.
This is my, part of my physical media collection. This is from UK's Second Sight. Beautiful. If you've not seen the coffee table, don't read about it. Just watch the coffee table.
All right. I haven't, so
you can yell at me later.
Give me some.
And the third movie on this,
right.
Suffer Little Children.
When I was putting this story together, I'm like, I wonder if Rob is familiar with this premise or whatever.
Oh,
So,
I own it.
okay.
I own the movie. They mention it down here. This project, Suffer Little Children, is a reimagining of the 1976 cult Spanish horror film Who Can Kill a Child? Plot details are secret, but the original movie followed a couple who travels to a remote island for a vacation, and they soon realize that all the adults on the island have been killed. And let me just tell you, all three of these movies excite me.
Yeah.
As a dyed-in-the-wool horror fan, we're getting auteurist horror with all three of these films. I cannot wait to see them. Walter Hamada's, that's probably why they re-upped his deal, because the man is bringing some very highbrow, very ferocious horror to us, and I'm there for it. So you go, Walter Hamada. And you know what? With the new administration, there's a new sheriff in town. Of course, David Ellison's not really the new sheriff in town, but you know what? You're going to get to make these movies, and I think you're going to knock it out of the park. And you go, Walter Hamada.
And now on to some other news. A little nuance to this news.
So the trailer for Primate dropped today.
Yeah.
First of all, it's specious. I think it's a racist movie about chimps. I don't like it. I don't like the fact that this year we had Oz Perkins made his monkey movie.
Yeah.
What is it? Why is everybody got to be? Look, there was one chip that ripped some lady's face off, and now all chimps are. It's open season on chimps. So Primate, I have to say, it does look beautifully made, but I just don't like the fact that there's an evil chimp. I mean, George Romero made Monkey Shines. We had, what was the movie with Matthew Broderick?
What about recently? What was the monkey with the drum?
That's it. That's the monkey. That was Oz Perkins, the monkey.
Yeah.
And then Monkey Shines, and then Project X. Of course, that was more of an ape, right? The Matthew Broderick film. Why you gotta pick on chimps, man? I mean, this chimp looks pretty out over the edge. But,
these are all really dark shots, but
yeah, but the movie's got some. I mean, this is one face pulling chimp.
Look,
I didn't quite get from the trailer. Was it like bitten by something?
It seemed okay. That's another thing. It wasn't very clear, but it seemed like something went in there and it bit. Oh, there's my cat.
There's look, he's stalking you, or she's stalking you. I don't know. I mean, this movie looks effective. I just don't like why you got to make the chimp the bad guy, man.
Yeah. This trailer really gave to me some Pooh, Blood and Honey style like tone. It seemed like a joke. It like there's a scene where it's like, I get it, it's a fun bit, but like he's unlocking the door and she's trying to lock it. I did like the one scene where he opens the back and she's like, okay, I'm gonna time this just right and jump out, but it's already too late because his face is right there. Right. But it just felt like everybody in the thing, he's a cute little guy. Look at him there. It just seemed like all the characters, the human characters, were so douchey, dude. Just like when they're in the,
if Chimp goes bad, why aren't they just running the heck out of there?
Right. And then, they're like sitting in the pool and they're like contacting their friends, and their douchey friends are like, oh, what's up? Yo, just obnoxious. Like in some ways you kind of just want the Primate to win, honestly.
Well, that's kind of that's where I was at.
Yeah.
I want it to be like Ex Machina, when the abused robot at the end becomes he's the harbinger of doom standing on the street corner.
Right.
I mean, I want to see the chimp. I want the chimp to win.
Yeah. I kind of do too, but I just felt
like... Or are we the primates of the title?
Yeah. I just felt like all of the moments in it were like, that tried to be jump scares weren't, and a lot of the things that were supposed to seemingly feel like it was building tension were more comic inducing. I was kind of laughing in a bad way, and it's just kind of a shame because I'm excited that Walter Hamada has re-upped his production company with 18 Hertz and Paramount, but boy, they celebrated with a terrible trailer. I don't know about this one. Yeah. Are you going to see it despite? Probably.
It's a horror film.
I'm going to let you tell me about it. I don't think I'm going to go see it. I'm going to skip this one. they probably saved on the budget with. Okay, here's also my theory. This movie is so poorly lit. I think they did that for budgetary concerns, because if it's so poorly lit, you don't have to spend on much because you can't see much. And even the detail on the primate, like, you don't need that much detail because it's so poorly lit. Other than in the beginning where he's a good monkey and he's in a nice, well lit like bedroom, but I don't know. I could see where they were cutting corners.
And after watching that documentary on the chimp that pulled that chick's face off, like, why would you keep a monkey?
Right. Just seems a little dangerous.
Yeah,
it's like, come and see us, come hang out with us, and we have this weird like raptor pen with the. First off, if he's a sweet little boy, why does he live in that raptor pen?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, let us know what you guys think. Are you excited about Walter Hamada? That's the main thing. Are you guys excited about Walter Hamada and 18 Hertz re-upping with Paramount? Ellison and Skydance, they made a lot of exciting moves and exciting announcements. So hopefully they can execute that. That's why I'm a little unsure about them jumping into the world of Warner Brothers. I think get your feet wet with Paramount first and show us what you can do, and then we'll see where you go from there. As far as Primate, this is a skip for me. I don't know. Maybe you guys are going to see it. Just my personal feelings. Anyway, let us know what you guys think. We're going to move on now to our final topic, and that is about Masters of the Universe. So apparently, why don't I have it? There we go. Apparently, the executives at Mattel have visited the site. Obviously, they were blown away not just by the scale of the sets, but also they got to see a director's cut of the movie, and they loved what they saw. Are they just trying to sell us? In other news, water wet. Executive loves movie. What do you think, Rob?
Well, okay. I have to say that, obviously Gary Goddard's 80s He-Man movie, Masters of the Universe, it's not the greatest, but Frank Langella was a great Skeletor, and Dolph Lundgren certainly looked the part. Mm-hmm. I think one of the things that disappointed people so much is that a lot of it took place on Earth.
Right.
Now, I have to say, to be honest, I was not looking at all forward to this movie until Travis Knight became the director of this. Travis Knight obviously directed the Transformers movie Bumblebee. He also directed Kubo and the Two Strings. He founded Leica Studios with money from his dad, Phil Knight, the founder of Nike.
Right.
But I sat down with him and interviewed him once for a licensing before he started directing Bumblebee. He was an incredibly impressive guy. And he really loved Transformers. He really loved the He-Man franchise. He talked about it. To me, he's proven his chops both with Kubo and Bumblebee in how to make a great fantasy film. I think he's the perfect choice to direct this. Now, that said, according to Mattel Studios' Robbie Brenner, who apparently saw an early cut of the movie, mm-hmm. She was being interviewed by The Hollywood Reporter, and she said, after screening a director's cut of Masters of the Universe, she called the film so much fun and a perfect compliment to Barbie. She was blown away. She says, I went and visited the set last year, and out of all the movies that I've worked on in my entire life, even Barbie, it was the biggest. It was massive, Brenner said. I think we took over 2 or 3 sound stages. This was on 8 backlots. Characters walking around that are 8 feet tall. There are all these crazy characters in this movie. The scale is no surprise. This is He-Man that we're talking about here. Now, here's another thing that I am really excited about with this particular film. The production designer is Guy Hendricks Dias, who, like Roger Deakins, the great cinematographer, works with his wife. Now, I was able to, the first time I ever saw his work up close and personal was when I was doing the behind the scenes on X-Men 2. And I was up in Vancouver, and I saw the sets he had designed, like for the Weapon X lab, and I was really blown away. But I really got to know Guy Dias on Superman Returns, because I was on Superman Returns. He was one of the very first people I interviewed on the film, and I was there when he built all of these incredible sets. The Daily Planet set. He built the entrance of the Daily Planet between 2 different sound stages. He took that and used the sound stages to bracket, so when you see the opening of the Daily Planet, the man is incredibly talented, and he does a deep, deep dive into his subject matter. And when we went to CinemaCon, they showed us about a 5-minute behind the scenes, because there was no finished footage. We saw a behind the scenes reel of them shooting this film. And like Rob Brenner says, on the sound stages, the design work, was incredible. The look of Eternia, they showed behind the scenes images of like Idris Elba as Man-at-Arms. I've talked about this on the show before, the sorceress costume. I actually contacted Guy and asked him a few things. I'm like, bruh, there's no battle cat in this footage. He's like, don't worry. You know, he's got this great English accent.
Yeah.
And he told me a few other things that I cannot share, but it made me really excited. And between Travis Knight directing and Guy Hendricks Dias and his entire design team, I think this is the movie that people don't want to sleep on. I think this is going to be an epic. Now, you know, when someone says, oh, it's if they're comparing Barbie to this, that gives me pause, to be honest. You know, but I understand in terms of I think she's speaking more about the scope of the film, because like you pointed out, the sets for Barbie were incredible. But I was not that interested in this movie, but with the creative team behind it and after what we saw at CinemaCon, I think this movie is going to be, and there's been so much controversy over the animated He-Man animated shows that have recently come out. I think this is going to blow everybody away.
Yeah, I do believe she was speaking about, on one hand, the scope and scale of the production, but also I think in terms of the depth, because Barbie was not just a surface level movie.
No,
it had something to say. And I'm not saying we're going to get some like wonderful message out of like Masters of the Universe, but it's still going to be a deeper and probably more emotionally attached than, you know, just a surface level, shallow film. And I think she was speaking in terms of that as well, because I think Travis Knight is the person to do that. He's not the one. He's not the type to just make a shallow film. So
no, and I think look, I can't speak. A lot of people talk about, well, does most of it take place on Earth? It didn't appear that way from the behind the scenes stuff, only because the Eternia sets and things were just gorgeous.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
they
what we
really
saw,
looked incredible.
Yeah, I think it's because the first thing we saw were these behind the scenes shots where they were, let me see if I can scale that down a little bit. There we go. You know, where it's like him getting arrested and they're like looking at his sword and it looks a little silly, but you could never, we talked about this so much on this show, you can never just take set photos and be like, this looks awful. You don't know what this is going to look like in screen. We don't even know if this was in fact like they're shooting this. Are they just going over where they're blocking? Are they just kind of practicing?
Yeah, I mean, that looks like ICE officers asking if, you know, do you have papers to be here if you're from Eternia?
Papers, please.
I mean, if you don't have your importation or whatever, if you don't have your right papers from Eternia, we're not going to let you back in the country.
No ticket.
You're out. We're deporting you back to Eternia.
What's that reference? No ticket. So again, like this could just be like practicing like the shots or where they're standing. Like we don't know what's going on here. And yeah, I don't think a lot of it's going to take place on Earth either. So again, yeah, you have to take it with a grain of salt. The cast, it looks fantastic. I mean, Evil Lynn is Brie Larson, you know. And also I wanted to say, when we first saw Galitzine in his casting, you were looking at photos like this. So I go, I don't know. And yeah, you know, he got the blonde hair, but man, dude, this dude has gotten ripped.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, look at this shot here where they're like working out. I know he's wearing a big shirt, but you could tell this dude's he's gotten thick, man.
Thick.
So I you know, and who knows what they're going to do when he goes from Adam to He-Man, and you know, we got a lot before we can make a lot of hard judgments on this film. Let's see the trailer as well. As
yeah,
all I'm saying.
I have to say though, I'm really as far as epic fantasy.
Yeah.
You from what I've seen of this movie, there's nothing else that would make me more excited for this film, and especially for the people that haven't seen the footage and stuff we saw. People that are lifelong He-Man fans, because I know this franchise means a lot to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
I think the diehard He-Man fans are going to really, really... I mean, I would expect when this trailer comes out, this is coming out, by the way, from Amazon Studios, and they're going to give it a big full-on theatrical push. It was part of their presentation. They killed it at CinemaCon. Between Crime 101, there's another film that I forget the name of it, but I don't even remember the name of it. Let's just say that the Amazon, of course, they have Project Hail Mary coming out in March, which I expect to win Best Picture of 2026 at the 2027 Academy Awards. You heard it here first. Yes, more so than the Odyssey and more so than Spielberg's Alien Invasion movie, whatever that is. I can't wait to see this. I think Amazon Studios is bringing us the goods.
Yeah. This team assembled the director, the design of the film, the cast. Come on, I can only be excited for this, and then we'll go from there after we see a trailer and make our judgments then.
Yep.
So, all right, guys. So what do you guys think about this information with where am I with Masters of the Universe and the executives at Mattel? Very excited. It sounds like they're here. They're seeing dollar signs. They like the initial edits they're seeing, and
the toys.
Well,
Like,
I
this
know that's
makes
why
me-
they're excited.
I was like, when you're seeing the character designs, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. I know it's Mattel, but I wouldn't be surprised if they license. I mean, they're going to make their own toys, but I'd love to see Hot Toys or InArt, some high-end action figure company make these. From what we saw, the costumes, it's like, whoa, man, these costumes are dope.
Well, you got to get a battle cat in battle armor, and then you got to get. What if it's like flocked or whatever? You know what I mean?
I want that. What is it? The space glider, the thing that he flies. I love that
Mm.
toy. They did a great one of those like 5 years ago or something. It was dope.
Yeah.
Why am I saying dope all the time? I don't know. Was that
Because you're the something a dope discourse.
Yeah, I'd say dope and rad. Too
Yeah.
much dates me. Hey, Grandpa. Hey, Boomer. Say
Did
rad
you ever
again.
think saying dope and rad though would date you? Like, and in the time, it just felt
No,
like
I
that was
can't help
always. Yeah. Whatever. Anyway,
I'm never gonna say skibbity. I'm just telling you right
Please.
now.
actually, do it ironically. I'll accept that ironically.
No, I
Anyway,
can't do
guy, what do you guys think about this? Are you excited about the?
it. I like no cap. It's pretty good.
Rob's feeling his feels over there. Are you guys excited about the Masters of the Universe and things that are coming to light? I know I am. So let us know in the comments. We're going to get now to the most important part of this show, and that's hearing from you guys. Now, normally we do tips, and I put up a tip link. I don't have access to that when I'm running from the house. So we're going to be doing super chats, and we have some super chats here, Rob. So let's get to the first ones.
All right.
All right, we hear from Sienna the Destroyer. Thank you for visiting Chicago. This is to John. Still starstruck. You and Ann are wonderful. And today he's in Indianapolis. He's going to be there. So
With Cody Miller, Olympic
Yep.
gold medalist.
And then he makes the final voyage home. Next week he'll be back. We'll all be back in studio. And I know you guys will be excited for that. Next up, we got Raymond, who says... Let me get him on screen. Raymond here. Yeah, no. Glad you made it to Chicago despite that flat tire. Yeah, that's right. I don't know if you saw that, Rob. He got a flat on the way.
I heard that. The real question is, why didn't he make a video of him changing the tire and put it up on the channel and monetize that?
Exactly. That's what I told him. You gotta do like a travel log. You're burning a lot of mileage, so you have the van checked soon. Rotate your tires too. They probably rotate it when they change that tire. Okay, so Callum says, this is for Rob. Hey, Rob, in your opinion, what's the worst and best Star Trek movie scene?
Well, everyone knows that the best Star Trek movie scene is the 5 minutes that James T. Kirk spends spinning around the brand new Enterprise in Star Trek: The Motion Picture. Or I think one of the great scenes is when Kirk goes at the end of Wrath of Khan to find Spock in the intermix chamber dying.
Yeah.
And Spock says, the ship out of danger. Kirk says, you saved the ship. And Spock's death scene. I mean, I think about it and it chokes me up. It chokes me up every time. And I think that was probably, I mean, it's the saddest scene, but I think it's one of the best scenes. And yeah. And I do, you know what I think is also great? I think the end battle scene in Star Trek 6, when they take on Chang and the Excelsior and the Enterprise show up together. And they take
they're
out
like
the
fire,
vertebrae.
fire, yeah.
Yeah,
with
it's
the
great.
torpedoes. What? But they also asked worst Star Trek movie scene.
The entirety of the Kelvin Star Trek universe movies.
Oh man,
Star Trek 09, Star Trek Into Darkness, and Star Trek Beyond. No, I'm kidding. The worst Star Trek movie scene. I hate to say this because there
were some Next Generation movies that, if you take out Kelvin, I mean, assimilate this. I don't know when Worf says that.
people love First Contact.
Assimilate this.
Yeah, I don't know. Is there really truly any worst Star Trek movie scene?
No, because you're in space. Come on.
If there is one, it's in Star Trek Into Darkness. The whole when Spock, when Zachary Quinto screams Khan
Right.
It's just an unearned ripoff from Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. Look, Star Trek Into Darkness in its entirety is the worst big budget science fiction movie ever made. Ever. Because it's just a bad ripoff of Wrath of Khan, and the rest of it doesn't make a lick of sense. I mean, if you can beam from a small snub fighter to the Klingon homeworld, what do you need transporters for? All that those first two Kelvin movies do is totally negate the entire Star Trek universe.
So anyway, thanks, Callum, for asking us about Star Trek. Joe Allen says, "Hey guys, love the show. Do you guys know when we will see a trailer for Masters of the Universe and Voltron?" I mean, Voltron's going direct to Amazon. I mean, I'm not as excited now as I was before, but hopefully soon. Thanks, and bring on the filthy. PS Go Mariners, baby. Whoa.
Go Mariners.
I think John's not here because he may have a different story on that one. He might go with Blue Jays, I'm guessing.
Yeah, because he's Canadian.
Mm-hmm.
But, M's are from my hometown. Those first two games were pretty stellar.
Yeah, they were. They got shellacking last night, though. It was like 13-4 or something like that.
They did get a shellacking last night, but they're still up.
They're still up, baby. So what was the question? Oh, when do we think we're going to get a trailer for Masters of the Universe, at least? Well, let me see what the release date of this is, because I don't even know.
I would imagine around Christmas. I would think. I don't know if Masters of the Universe. All I know is it's 2026. I don't think it's been dated yet.
You're right. It just says 2026. So.
Yeah, it's sometime in 2026. And if it's I
if
would
it's
imagine.
Early,
I can't imagine they wouldn't. It's not a summer movie.
Yeah, but it could be like a May or June.
I don't know, June.
Early summer.
I think it's going to be a big summer film. I don't know if it's going to be a holiday movie. I would imagine it's going to be a big summer tentpole. We're pulling out all the stops. I mean, the thing about Amazon is going to 2026 is going to be the year that Amazon, aka MGM Studios, plants their flag theatrically, because their entire slate, I have to say, almost everything they showed interested me. It all looked. It's all very. It's both high concept and yet classical. They have a movie coming out called Crime 101 that stars Chris Hemsworth, that's based on the work of one of my favorite crime authors, Don Winslow. And it's based on a novella of his. I love Don Winslow's work. He wrote Oliver Stone's, the movie that Oliver Stone's Savages, which is coming out in 4K like next week, is based on one of his novels. I'm a huge Don Winslow fan, and they've tried to adapt a lot of his stuff, but it hasn't reached fruition. And now we're going to get a deluge of Don Winslow adaptations. But Crime 101 looks incredible. Of course, Project Hail Mary is my most eagerly awaited. Yes, more so than Doomsday. Project Hail Mary is my most eagerly awaited movie of 2026, and it's coming out from them. I can't wait. So I think they're going to go big with Masters of the Universe, and I think it's going to be a summer film. Probably the latest July, I would imagine, unless they're going holiday, because post-production work, it's got to have a lot of effects work. So who knows? I don't know.
All right. So next up we got what do we got? Where do we stop? Was it Joe? Let's see. Oh yeah, Joe. Oh no, sorry, we answered Joe. I'm sorry.
Above that.
Savako says, "Yeah, you guys have done a great job while John is on the road. Thank you. Can't wait for the Mordor Na'vi. Neither can Rob."
I cannot. And by the way, you'll know how good of a job we did if we're still here next week.
Yeah, exactly.
And we weren't fired.
We got Blackjack Hooligan who says, Rob, what would you recommend to those who are trying to better understand catch themes, ideas within film, TV? Also, Exorcist 1 and 3 are a great double feature.
They are. Exorcist 1 and 3 are a great double feature. There's an author, and I forget his name, and I've got one of his books around here. And he writes a great book about, let me look it up. I've got this newfangled thing called the internet. Let me see if I'm just going to write and see if it comes up, because I always forget his name. Oh, here it is. I found it. I found the book, and I think everybody, it's okay. There's an author named John Truby, JohnTruby, and he wrote a book called The Anatomy of Genres. And I think Truby's books are great, but I love The Anatomy of Genres. And for anybody who wants to broaden their perspective on your favorite movies, no matter what they are, that book, The Anatomy of Genres, is a great place to start. Also, Walter Murch's book, In the Blink of an Eye, which mostly deals with editorial. but still, you'll learn a lot from that book. Those are two great books, I think, to start with. And that's it. Those aren't just about well, The Blink of an Eye is about movies, but The Anatomy of Genres is also not just about movies, but about storytelling in general. And I think both of those books together work, I think, pretty well. But Truby's work, he's written other books too. So that's a place I would look. And Exorcist 1 and 3 are great. I think Exorcist 3 has one of the great horror scripts since The Exorcist ever written, obviously written and directed by William Peter Blatty, who wrote the novel The Exorcist.
Which is why you got authorship to it, like literally.
Authorship. And by the way, The Exorcist, Exorcist 3 not only has the greatest jump scare in the world, it has one of the greatest dream sequences in it.
Nice.
Good thing.
All right. We don't hear a lot of people saying stuff like that, like, talking about Exorcist 1 and 3 make a good double feature. So
they do.
I like when we get some deep cuts from our fans. Mr. I here says, game day, the AARP Bowl tonight, Rodgers versus Flacco. I'm sad I'm saying this when I'm older than they are. And Amin says, why don't more studios release the 1.9 to 1 IMAX ratio of their films for the home? All that work just for a short IMAX window. Still waiting on Dune.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard. Remember, though, Warner Brothers did pioneer putting the aspect, when you're talking about home video, especially we as physical media collectors, hence the coffee table, and all the other movies that are surrounding me right now. A lot of people don't understand. Like when I worked in home video when letterboxing first started, and people are like, "Why are those black bands on the top and bottom of the screen?" And it was so difficult to explain to people that when you were watching a standard television broadcast of a widescreen movie, you weren't seeing the whole movie. So with the IMAX, they finished these movies for various formats. And Warner Brothers, the studio, was the first studio that pioneered with I believe it was The Dark Knight, Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight, where they preserved when the film went into its full IMAX ratio. And now that we have bigger TVs, it really works. But you really have to have the studio committed to doing so. And Ryan Coogler was able to do that with Sinners. So I would like to see, like Dune and is it Dune 2? Do they not do that? I mean, obviously you're saying so I guess not. But yeah, I prefer what really bothered me is when on Disney Plus, they made the IMAX enhanced versions of their movies. They released all their movies not that way on physical media, on 4K disc, but then they go do it on Disney Plus. So you get to see the IMAX enhanced versions.
Right.
And that made me go, because, I bought, but then again, they were also suppressing the Dolby Atmos mix. So people would watch it on Disney Plus, which is absurd because it's compressed and sound is the first thing to be compressed. So whatever. I'd love to see more of it, but I'm with you, man. I mean, those Dune movies, what achievements. The greatest verisimilitude ever in a movie.
And that's saying something. Next up, we got 3 more. Sammy says, I finally watched Weapons last night. I really liked it. It was a very satisfying movie. The only thing I didn't understand was why the aunt was doing what she did, and I don't think they said the reason.
They didn't. But you know what? We're getting a prequel movie. Aunt Gladys is getting a prequel movie. So we're going to meet Amy Madigan and her aunt one more time, and we're probably going to get the secret origin one more time, and we're going to see her again.
Yep.
I can't wait.
We got Wolf Motts, who says, Rob, I'd love to know what you think about a Bill Burr Dead Man movie. I daydream about that and a Bob Odenkirk Booster Gold almost every day. Would Odenkirk be a little too old for Booster Gold?
That's what I'm thinking. Both of them might be a little too old. I mean, Dead Man, you could animate Dead Man, and that could be interesting because Dead Man does a lot of Bill Burr is Dead Man. Now I can't unsee that. I want to see a Dead Man with Bill Burr's voice.
He was still in one of the best episodes of Mandalorian.
Mando.
Was that season 2?
2.
It felt like an Andor episode.
That was, the production value of that episode was great, and that scene, oh man, that scene when he's talking to the Imperial officer, he killed it. Burr killed it.
Absolutely. All right, here we have reached the end. Our final one. Siddhartha says, how excited are you for Predator Badlands? For me, very, because I love Prey and Killer of Killers.
Me too, dude. I love Killer of Killers. I want to see that in a theater. I think Badlands, we talked about the fact that it was PG, but that's the way it was always designed. It's designed to be this big adventure movie and all the mayhem. I don't think, look, what I like about the Predator franchise is I thought Alien versus Predator it felt forced. The situation violated canon. But after Predator 2, and you saw like the alien skulls, and you see one of the Predators give Danny Glover a gun in respect. And at the beginning of Predator versus Alien versus Predator Requiem, we see the Predator homeworld.
Right.
I love how they're expanding the mythos and the idea that the Predator has to go, he has to basically go on an Aboriginal walkabout.
Right.
And he has to go out there and prove himself. I love that. And crossing over with the Wayland Yutani, the Alien universe, I think that's great stuff. And the Quiet King of Franchises, the president of 20th Century Studios, is making it happen. So I think Steve Asbell, who really knows his genre stuff, as a custodian of Predator, Alien, and Planet of the Apes, I didn't love Romulus, but he's making it happen. So I think that Trachtenberg knows what he's doing, and I think he's made the movie he wanted to make. And again, authorship. If we're being allowed, he directed Killer of Killers, and he directed Prey, and he is doing this. So we're kind of getting a trilogy with that same sensibility, which is really cool, I think.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
I enjoyed, what do you call it? Alien. Did you say Romulus? Or what did you say?
Yeah, Romulus.
You weren't big on that. I liked Romulus a lot.
It was like Alien Greatest Hits, which was fine.
Yeah.
I
liked
don't
it
know
because it
how...
took me back to a style that I really appreciated. So,
yeah, I want to see it expanded more. I want to see the Alien franchise. They tried to make it weird with Alien Resurrection, but the thing that I still wonder about, when Ridley Scott decided to do Prometheus, that question, he's like, well, who is the space jockey? For me, the real question is not who is the space jockey. They explained it as being the engineers. But what they didn't explain is why was there an alien derelict full of thousands and thousands of those alien eggs? Where were they being taken? And what was, like, we've seen that the aliens they build their hives, but what happens when, say, thousands of aliens are allowed to complete whatever it is that they're building? And where was that? Like, if that derelict was taking all of those aliens somewhere with thousands of eggs, when you see like John Hurt rappelling down into that egg chamber in the first Alien movie and how big that ship actually is,
right?
I want to know where they were taking that cargo and what was that cargo supposed to do when it got there. That's the story I want to know.
Well, maybe someday we'll see. I don't know. Well, anyway, guys, this brings us to the end, not just of the day, but I think of the
coffee table
of the week, because I don't know if we're going to do a show tomorrow, if John's going to do an open mic style show tomorrow.
Well, we're not.
But we're not. So if there is a show tomorrow, it's going to be just John. But listen, thank you all for joining us today and suffering through us and sans John Campea on the John Campea Show.
And thanks to everybody for supporting us via super chats, tips, and your memberships. Thanks for being here, and thanks for sticking with us, even though the captain of the ship is not here.
Yeah, and where can we find you, Rob? Elsewhere off the John Campea Show.
Well, you can find me. You can find my audio drama that I directed that has people like Anthony LaPaglia, Katie Sackhoff, David Strathairn, Michael Rosenbaum, True Noir. You can find True Noir at truenoir.co. And if you live in the Southern California area, the new film that I produced, White Devils, it's a public premiere. You can get tickets for it. It's at the Gardena Cinemas on Tuesday night, Halloween week. October 28th, Tuesday night at 8:00. I will be there. Director Gabe Bologna will be there. Some of the stars of the film will be there. White Devils. And you'll be able to get tickets on Eventbrite, $20, and join the party. It's going to be a lot of fun. White Devils world premiere.
Nice.
Oh, and you can also find me on my own YouTube channel, The Burnett Work, and on my show, Robservations, or on Sunday with Dieter Bastian on Let's Get Physical Media, Sundays at 11 Pacific.
All right. Well, you guys can just find me here. And you'll find me here on Monday. So that's when we'll see you guys next. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you then. Bye.
Adios.